Chapter 13, Homecoming. You, Gabe, and Cass are hurrying back to the Nexus to warn the covens about the oncoming threat, but the moment you cross the ley line boundary, you're set upon by a group of Clement scouts. It ends here, traitors. Gabriel lets you off his SPAC and quickly steps in front of you, arms spread wide as a shield. Genevieve, please, let us explain. Explain what? That you betrayed us? You and Parker? Harrison, I promise, it's not what you think. Just let us tell you. Wait, what the hell? Harlow's alive? As three sets of Clement eyes narrow on Cash, she hoists Shiloh's unconscious body higher over her shoulder, which only makes the Clements bare their fangs. What did you three do to Shiloh? Believe me, you're about to thank us. We don't have time to hang around. We've brought back info about who really slaughtered my coven mates in the woods. And if we don't get this info back to Astoria and Lewin's stat, all of our heads are on the line. And why should I take your word, Vinidai? Oh, don't worry. Shiloh can tell you a lot more about the threats we're facing when he wakes up. You just gotta be careful with him. He's the traitor. What are you... Let us talk to Lewin and Astoria and we'll explain everything. Genevieve glares long and hard at you before lifting a hand. Suddenly another Clement drags Seth out of the trees, his face molded with blood and bruises. Oh, that's nice. What the hell? Seth, where's my mom? That's what I'd like to ask you, human. Your mother is a danger to the covens, and this Vinidai helped hide her. Seth lifts his head sadly, one of his eyes swollen, partially shut. Parker, I'm so sorry. I left the safe house and they caught me, but I promise you, your mom's still safe. Despite Seth's reassurance, panic rises in you, so much so that you blurt out your next words to the Clements without thinking. Take me to my mom right now. You dare give orders to Vampire Elder, human? I dare because I have information that could save your lives, but I'll only share it after I make sure my mom is okay. Gabriel steps up beside you, chin lifted as he stares straight at Genevieve. If you know what's good for you, and every Clement in Crimson Beech will listen to Parker. You hold your breath as they stare each other down, the tense silence only broken when Genevieve speaks again. Very well, if I detect even a hint of subterfuge, all of your lives are forfeit. My kind of plan. And one of you can take Shiloh back to the Nexus. He's got a lot heavier than he looks. Probably all the evil weighing him down. She dumps the still unconscious Shiloh into Harrison's arms. Make haste, be sure to have him bound when you arrive. Okay. As Harrison and Nicole return to the Nexus with Shiloh, the rest of you follow Seth back to the safe house. It's not too far from here. Just a mile or two into the woods. Once you arrive at the safe house, Seth hardly has time to unlock the door before you fly inside, looking around frantically. Mom. Parker! You practically soar across the room, throwing your arms around your mom and hugging her so tightly she lets out a gasp. Mom, I am so glad you're okay. I was so scared. Your mom pulls back, her eyes shining with tears as she places a hand on your cheek. You were scared. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. I've been beside myself, trapped in this room with no news. She suddenly sucks in her breath, eyes widening in fear, fixing on something behind you. Hi, Dr. Reese. Glad to see you in one piece, Parker's mom. Your mom takes a apprehensive step back, not taking her eyes off the two vampires. Why are you... Mom, please don't be afraid. They're the reason I'm alive. The vampires have had it out for me for a while, but Gabe and Cass have been looking out for me this whole time. You reach back, taking each of their hands. Your mom's eyes widen even more, but you pull Gabe and Cass to your sides. And just now, the three of us faced outside the Crimson Beech. I wouldn't still be here if I hadn't had them beside me. Gabe squeezes your hand, and your face warms as the tender look he gives you. That goes two ways. We wouldn't have survived with what we did without Parker. She's incredible. A total badass, and yeah, I can admit that. She saved my ass a handful of times. You see nothing but total pride in Cass's eyes as she says it, making your stomach flip. Your mom examines the three of you for several long heartbeats, her expression growing more and more confused. Listen, don't question it, you're traditional. I don't know how to process all this. I can tell that you trust each other. Completely. Your mom's eyes swivel to Seth. And Seth has been very kind, boy, despite being a, I've been doing that, what Parker asked me to, keeping you safe. How am I supposed to accept that I'm surrounded by vampires? There are so many all throughout the town. My boss is a vampire who almost tore my kid's head off. And what about the murders in the woods? Those are clearly their doing. Mom, I know the idea of vampires is scary, but there's so much more to them than what horror stories want you to believe. Vampires also are protective, like Gabe, brave, like Cass, selfless, like Seth. So far Seth isn't the only selfless vampire. I'm gonna go with protective, because it sounds better than brave. From the moment I walked into Crimson Beech High, Gabriel has watched out for me. He's got me flying, or safe from flying footballs, and from certain death, actually. You place your hand on his forearm and give it a warm squeeze as you smile at him. Gabriel is basically Crimson Beech very own Superman. He smiles softly back at you, unable to keep the pride off his face. It was nothing that Parker wouldn't have been able to get herself out of eventually. Your daughter's very resourceful, Dr. Reese. And modest to boot. See, Mom, you don't have to be afraid of him. I never could be. I believe you. I really do. But if not all vampires are bloodthirsty monsters, then why in the world were you and I dragged into the cave to be killed? Parker, please tell me what's going on in this town. I need the full truth. Looking in your mother's eyes, you know the half-truths will no longer protect her. You take a deep breath and then tell her everything. Rogue vampires have been scouting out Crimson Beech, murdering humans and other vampires, leaving the bodies in the woods. They're planning to attack the town itself next. The Crimson Beech covens are their target, their goal. Eradication. They want this town for themselves. Eradication, but what can we do? Parker, Cass, and I have information the covens need to defend themselves, and the humans of this town from the enemy. Casts a sharp look over his shoulder at Genevieve, who has been standing cross-armed in a far corner watching through narrowed eyes. I would prefer if we could speed things up and deliver this information to Lewin in a story with haste. Wait, the townspeople. The sooner they're evacuated, the better. We need to get them out of Crimson Beech as soon as possible. That's why I'm going straight to Astoria and Lewin to tell them the same thing. We'll need their help to organize an evacuation of that scale. I'm coming with you. I want to be part of the plan to protect the townspeople. Mom... Doesn't matter. They're gonna try killing her anyway. Okay, I won't stop you. You gaze steadily into her eyes, seeing the resolve there outshining the fear. If you're sure. I am. You give a faint smile, a sense of pride welling up in you. Well, then let's go advocate for the people of Crimson Beech together. You'll be safe going back to the Nexus with us, Dr. Reese. What happened last time will never happen again. Right, Genevieve? Right. Ooh, golden boy. Your inner Venedi's showing. I like it. Alright, we don't have time to waste. Let's get going. Wait. You all spin to face Seth, who digs something out of his pocket. Parker, take this with you. You'll have more use for it than me. Another talisman! This is the sensory talisman, or deprivation talisman. Use it on a vampire and their five senses are dulled to the point they barely know what's going on around them. I used it to keep Dr. Reese hidden from the scouts. And you're giving it to me, why? I don't think there's gonna be any way to stop this battle before it happens, and well, it would really suck to have my cool human friend torn apart by super vampires, and this will help you take away some of the souped-up powers they have. Also, it might help with Shiloh in case he resists and wants to lie. Remember the scouts who battle outside the enemy camp, as well as the horrible monsters being created in it, as you eye the talisman in Seth's palm seriously. Take it. Seth, thank you. You take the talisman from him, feeling the gravity of the situation as you fasten it to your bracelet. Shouldn't the bracelet be silver in and of itself and not gold, including the talismans? Just saying! Promise he'll put it to good use. You can count on it. Now I'm gonna put it in a jewelry box. You turn to others, letting out a shaky breath at what's to come. It's time we return to the Nexus. Yes, it is. You give your mom's trembling hand a reassuring squeeze as your group steps back into the night, all focused on what is going to happen when you reach your destination. When you enter the Tribunal chamber, you see Lewin and Astoria standing in the center, staring straight at you, while the Coven elders sit in high-backed chairs fanned down on either side of the Coven leaders. All around the rest of the room, various other Crimson Beech vampires crowd in to view the proceedings, elbowing and nudging each other to get a better view. Hey, didn't all of you have like some big brawl and want to kill each other? It's true, they really have returned. And Cass is alive and well. Perhaps we were wrong all along. Tell us what happened. Why's Cass with Eldahar and the human? I can't believe it, they actually seem excited to see us. Lewin holds up a hand, silencing the voices. You fight the urge to swallow as his silver eyes penetrate straight into yours. I hear you have some news to share with us. I do. It's a matter of life or death. In that case, the floor is yours. And it had better be worth our while. Oh, shut up! As Astoria and Lewin step aside, you, Gabe, and Cass head to the center of the chamber, while Seth stands at the sidelines with your mom. Surrounded by vampires, you begin your tale. Gabriel and I found Cass alive, but badly beaten at the murder scene. They left her alive with a warning for the rest of you. The warning being, they're coming for all of us next. We left to find out more, because we knew you were too paranoid to take our word for it. We picked up the killer's trail and followed it to a camp of vampires to the north, roughly a day's walk at a human's pace. They've got a leader. He's a lot more powerful than the rest of them. In what way? In every way. He will tear you limb from limb. The leader, he was biting the other vampires. The other vampires wanted it, and when they were bitten, they started to transform. Story and Lewin look at you in astonishment. Do go on, Miss Reese. I figured he'd want to know that. The bites transformed them into something else, something monstrous, and he's been making an army of them. Are you telling the truth? No, I lie for a hobby. These monsters were the same kind of vampires that attacked my hunting party and killed everyone but me. Astoria and Lewin exchange a look. For the first time, you think you see them sharing an inkling of fear with each other. Then Lewin stares you down again. What other information do you three bring with you? Some of the attackers were wearing sigils, either as jewelry or tattoos. They were sigils from various covens along the coast, meaning the attackers weren't from just one town. They are all a group of vampires from all over. They are also one massive rune drawn in the blood of the dead Venedize that didn't match any of the coven sigils Cass had seen. As Gabriel describes the rune from memory, Astoria and Lewin exchange another uneasy look. What else do you know? The enemy leader had a sigil pendant hanging around his neck. And it was the exact same rune from the ritual circle. With this, we can learn the identity of who seeks to eradicate our covens. You won't like this next bit. We snuck down into the camp and overheard some of their forces talking. They've completely eradicated the town of Flagstone Cove leyline. They didn't leave any survivors, vampires or humans. Lewin flags another vampire over and whispers in her ear. She nods and then quickly leaves the room. How is such destruction possible? The Flagstone Cove Coven is a mighty one. The monsters are faster, stronger than we are. It's how we were able to get a jump on the Venedi hunting party. Just then, the vampire quickly returns with a note for Lewin. He reads the message gravely and then nods, dismissing her. I just attempted to contact an associate with Flagstone Cove. We were unable to reach him. It appears this information is unfortunately accurate. Flagstone Cove is really gone? Completely. And that's real bad news for you guys, because the enemy knows exactly where the Nexus is located. There's one simultaneously intake of breath all around you. Our base location is kept well secret. How could they possibly know? There's a traitor who's been living among us. You were right about that, but it was someone nobody looked twice at. She spears Lewin with an accusatory glare, and he glances towards the side of the room. Clyde bringing the prisoner. On it. Clyde ducks out for a second before returning with a chain-bound Shiloh. He looks around pale and sweaty, and you realize the manacles around his wrists must be silver. Oh, so great to see you again, Lewin. I assume the traitor Miss Harlow speaks of as you. What? That's impossible. No, it's the truth, and it's right in front of you. Fellow's head lolls weakly on his neck as he grins at Lewin. Things are changing around here, empires rise, they seem invincible, but all of them fall eventually. That's the way it's always been. So bring on the bloodshed, I say. A change in regime has never been pretty, but it's always been thrilling. The uproar is immediate, so loud you can hardly hear yourself think over it. Why would you do such a thing? Shiloh turned traitor? For even more power. Being immortal, having superpowers, and still being able to go outside within certain limits apparently wasn't enough for him. You glare at Shiloh, shrugs a shoulder. Oh, not gonna say you're wrong. We don't have time to waste discussing a single traitor's reasons. He's just a small part of the larger force. Hang on. When we quartered this asshole, he did say something that points towards the enemy's goals and all this. He said the vampires he's with want to go back to the time before covens settled at ley lines, back when individual vampires made their own alliances. That's heinous. All vampires know they stay with the covens, they turn them. Such animosity towards the very concept of covens. It's as though these enemies have not been benefited from the protection of being in a coven at all. But Shiloh has been in a coven for centuries. He's had safety and family. Snore. You can't all pretend that you don't want some freedom in your lives. Freedom at the expense of our lives? I thought we were friends. Or at least allies. Sorry, seems like you thought wrong. The crowd around you grows louder in their fury. The traitor must pay. He sacrificed all of our lives. I say we end his life in return. Worry not, Crimson Beech vampires. It is codified in our laws that punishment for betrayal of this magnitude is execution. As the watching vampires let out a bloodthirsty cheer, Story looks at you, Gabriel and Cass. It will not be overlooked that you three made it possible for the covens to enact justice. Uh-huh. And the fact that you tried to kill me and my mother, and the fact that, you were gonna kill, Gabe at one point, and then Cass too, and then you people are idiots. As a sole survivor of the demolished hunting party, I would like to elect Cassie to do the honors. While such a pointed show of vengeance is typically beyond my taste, I can allow it this time. Finally. She steps right up to Shiloh, who can no longer hide the grimness in a smile. Oh, just know that killing me won't stop anything. I've already put the plan into motion. You all have no chance. Shut it. With one ruthless swipe, Cass rips off his head, cutting him off mid-sentence. The watching crowd breaks out into a raucous cheer. I think that's too quickly of a death for that man. Yes! That's for the dead Venet eyes. You were never a Clement, never a real one. It's a good thing he's dead and can't hear you. Think fast. Margot picks up Shiloh's head and chucks it across the room, and soon she and Scott are kicking around like a ball. As Dory and Lewin make their way back to the center of the chamber, and the surrounding vampires settle down, breaths held in anticipation. Gabriel Adahad, Cassie Harlow, and Parker Reese, on behalf of two covens, we can thank you for invaluable information. There are not many humans who would put their lives on the line to help a group of vampires the way you have, Parker. Does that mean... We have decided to pardon you and your mother, but that doesn't mean... Your mom breaks away from Seth to run over to you, pulling you into a tight hug. Thank you, Dr. Junius, Principal Yao. Thank you for not hurting my child. Lewin, Astoria, it's about time. The words slip out before you even know you're going to say them. Excuse me? You're excused, bish. I mean, thanks for finally realizing me and my mom aren't out to get you? Astoria brandishes a hand at you to signal you to stop talking, and you snap your mouth shut. Back to the matter of threats. The fearsome vampires at the center of the ritual you described can only be one thing. A creator. Okay, what's that? one of the originators of the entire vampire species. But what does he hope to get from coming after you and other vampires, especially if he's your creator? If the workings of the creator's mind were known, we would not have lost so many of our coven already. Although I dislike admitting it, compared to a creator, even Astoria and myself are no more than children in both power and age. The creators are legends even in the oldest of our kind, which leaves us with a daunting question. How does one plan to find a living god? We gotta retreat. We have no chance of surviving otherwise. Absolutely not. If we band together, we can defend our base. We cannot lose the nexus. Screw waiting around for the enemy to attack us. We should head off. Use the element of surprise to wipe the floor with them. Yeah, good luck with it. Screw Crimson Beech. We need to find another ley line. You, Gabe, and Cass meet eyes and quickly huddle together. This is a mess. We have no idea how to plan for this. The covens are in panic mode all over again. Yeah, because we don't have a clue what this asshole creator even wants with us. Destruction. To wipe you off, because the old didn't work. You're right. If we figure out what the creator wants, we can figure out how to stop him from getting it. But how? I don't think library was as much in the way of ancient legendary vampires. It's not like we can go and ask him. The Chamber of Laws might help us. There's a section called the Hall of History. If documentation about creators exists, it'll be there. If your nerdy plan saves us all of our asses, Aldar, I might just hate you a little bit less. Diamond choice. We need answers. Mom, I need you to stay with Seth for a little while. Gabriel and Cass and I have something to do real fast. Can you trust me? Mom, hold your gaze for a long moment before nodding. I do, but be careful, Parker. I will, I promise. Seth, keep an eye on my mom. You can count on me. You turn to Gabe and Cass with a shared nod, and you slip out of the Tribunal chamber. Just that easy. When you enter the Chamber of Laws, Cass looks around while Gabriel heads straight towards an elaborately decorated stone wall. Sneaking into a place is almost become second nature. So where's this Hall of History supposed to be? Through here. Gabriel pushes open a section of the stone wall, revealing an ancient-looking lock worked into a sealed compartment. He reads the faded inscription of an ancient language carved beneath the lock. Give me the life of a dead man. What, like a zombie brain? Wouldn't it be blood, since vampire blood has special properties and all? It would make sure no non-vampires can get in. I'm going with blood over brains for this one. Boring. Cass bends down and whips a knife out of her boot. So, who are we carving up to test this theory? Gabriel, since he suggested it. Looks like you got the short end of the stick, old boy. She flips the blade around and hands it to Gabriel hilt first. He takes it with a roll of his eyes. Whatever, it's not a big deal. He slices the knife across his palm and a crimson well freely out of his wound. He presses the palm to the lock. It's working. The blood coating the lock starts moving on its own, spiraling towards the center of the lock and disappearing as it gets absorbed. Suddenly, you hear a popping noise, and the compartment swings open, revealing a number of old stone tablets, all covered in the same ancient writing as the lock. That's supposed to be the hall? More like a shelf of history. Still, this is what we need. Look. He pulls out one of the tablets, blowing off a layer of dust. An ancient tablet. What's it say? The era of creators. Only a Class A nerd would look so excited by a history lesson. Go on, gold boy. Tell us what it says. Gabriel studies the ancient writing for a few moments and then begins reading. In times past, there were many creators, each ruling a vast territory in the ancient world. Oh, it's time for me. Each of these ancient rulers created hundreds of vampires over whom they had absolute control. Thank you, O Supreme One, for this gift which you are about to bless me. Haven't seen that old crone in a while. Hey, look who it is. Come here, my child. Kneel before me as you receive your gift. Thank you, thank you. In some halls, the humans met their transformations with ecstasy. Now, my servant, are you ready to do as you bid? I am, Supreme One, for I am reborn anew. But in the halls of other creators, the humans were turned against their wills, terrified and confused. Please be Adrian, and other vampires of the bloodbound thing. What are you? The one who will mold you into the perfect being, who will do all that I ask. Ah! Your transformation is complete. What have you done to me? What is this power? Wow. No blood, no. Alright, whatever. But in the time, the creators grew weary of having the world in the palm of their hands, their might unchecked. Day in and day out, it's all the same. I can hardly stand it any longer. The world no longer interests me. I cannot help but wonder perhaps paradise is not all it is made out to be. Perhaps all that is required to enjoy paradise is a period of change. What do you mean? I speak of a time away of rest. We retreat to the sources of our power, only to return when the world has changed enough to be of interest once more. But what becomes of our territories while we are away? Who will rule our children and our lands? It is not so complex. I know that you regard some of your children more highly than others, as do I and the rest of our siblings. It is a simple matter of each bequeathing our territory to vampires we trust the most, who will watch over it until we awaken. I sense in your suggestion, and I must admit the prospect of rest sounds marvelous. Then it is settled. I shall speak to the other creators right away. Their decisions made, creators settled into their slumbers in their ancient sanctuaries, the natural sources of their power. You have my gratitude, my loyal servant. I shall return to you once my rest is complete. I shall await the day. I live to serve you, O Supreme One. Sanctuaries, territories, children. There's some weird crap going on in ancient vampire times. I mean, it does make sense, though. I think we're learning about the creation of covens. These creators all created the first vampires that were supposed to be loyal to them and only them, like a big family. They each controlled their own territory. Maybe that's why covens eventually decided to settle down at one ley line. It makes a lot of sense. Calling the vampires they created their children feels a lot like coven members consider each other family. Okay, so there's a bunch of, like, these superpowered freaks sleeping all over the world now. Or have they all woken up and turned bloodthirsty? Figuring New York, they've all started to wake up and turn bloodthirsty. There's more to read, so we might just find out. But their slumbers were not so peaceful. Newly freed from the rule of their creators, the vampires did not wish to return to how things had been. They realized the time was right to rid the world of their creators, and so they tracked them down and slaughtered them. Why have you awoken me? Because it is time for you to meet your end. The vampires exterminated creator after creator, their loyalty to their all-powerful makers a thing of past. Why are you... Yes, that is enough. I relish never hearing your voice again. Still, a few creators remain. Those who had hidden themselves away in such remote parts of the world, they were never found. Well, one like you. The creator attacking us must be one of the ones that were never found. Asshole must have woken up and realized all of his little children decided to turn traitor and kill his friends. The ley lines up and down the East Coast must have been old territory. He wants to reclaim it from the covens who took it from him. And he's killing any vampires that stand in his way as long as revenge against those who turned against him and his supreme buddies. That makes sense. What? I mean, his method. He considered himself the most powerful thing in the world, only to wake up and learn his kind weren't invincible. More than that, he learned his comrades got totally slaughtered, so what's he gonna do? The same exact thing to prove his dominance, again. Yeah, sounds about right. He looks super smug, all surrounded by the new followers. Talk about major petty jackass vibes. So, we have any idea of why he's doing this? But how do we stop someone from who's been sleeping for centuries in the very source of his power? There's more to read. There have got to be answers. Gabriel lifts another tablet and begins skimming his finger along the text, translating it as he goes. It says here that creators have the ability to absorb and store ley line energy within themselves, giving them fearsome power. Wait, does that mean after he killed everyone at Flagstone, he absorbed its ley line's power? Gabriel and Cass look at you, horror dawning slowly over their expressions. So he wasn't just sleeping in that power. He's been sucking up even more? And now he's after ours so he can become even more powerful. How the hell did we kill this bastard? Taint the ley line. No, seriously, taint the ley line. Gabriel looks back down at the tablet, his eyes darting back and forth as he skims through it. Hang on, I think we hit the jackpot. The creator's greatest weakness is they drink the blood of their children. Or they can't drink it. Vampire blood. They have the same weakness as the rest of you? It's even more lethal to them than regular vampires. Consuming even the smallest amount of vampire blood is a certain death sentence. Hell yeah, that's how we do it. Force feed the freak some essence of Venadi or Clement. I'm not picky as long as we wipe the floor up with him. We need to bring this info back to the rest of the vampires now. As fast as you can, you seal the tablets back in the compartment and rush out of the chambers of law. We just get the first answer and we leave. Stupid, but okay. As you sprint back into the tribunal chamber, you're met with the sound of raised voices as the Venadis and Clemens glare at each other at the gridlock on how to proceed. We need to establish guards around the city right away, with extra force stationed around the nexus. What we need is to head the enemy off before they arrive. Take the fight to them. With tensions that had barely settled flaring anew, now fueled by panic, you know you have to interfere before it becomes, well, goes to blows again. Draw some blood. Cass, I'm gonna need to borrow your knife. Before she can react, you slide her knife out of the boot and draw the blade across the palm of your hand. What the hell are you thinking? The effect is immediate, every vampire in the room going eerily still and silent. I smell. Gabriel and Cass close protectively around you as heads swivel in your direction, and you fight back to reflex to flee. Now that I got everyone's attention, you need to come together right now, otherwise you're just doing the creator's job for you. Then what do you suggest we do? You three are the only ones who have seen this creator. Indeed, you must have more insight for us. We don't know how to proceed. You know, for idiots who are hundreds, if not thousands of years old, you people are idiots. Just literally idiots. You'd think you would educate yourselves. All that time to educate yourselves and you do nothing. We just read a whole bunch of musty old tablets about the creators, and we know what the enemy's after. The room goes silent as a crypt, so quickly you suppress a shiver, but you forge on. The creators get their supercharged powers from ley lines by finding their hearts and draining them dry. Then he'll be able to read. Then he'll be after the red beech tree near the school campus. What happens if he manages to suck all the energy out of it? Aside from the fact that his power will be even more unstoppable, the ley line's protection will be no more. We will be vulnerable, especially come daytime. We will form an advance guard around the red beech tree at once. One more thing. Vampire blood's the guy's kryptonite. More poisonous than silver, by the sound of it. Duly noted. Thank you, you three. With your information, I feel that we have evened the playing field enough to stand more of a fighting chance. Really? So how are you going to get vampire blood into this guy's mouth? Don't worry, I'm sure he's smarter than you, because clearly so far he's been. But go ahead and explain that to me. Now that is settled, what about the townspeople? Your heart skips a beat as every vampire in the nexus whips their head around to look at your mom. You all heard what Parker said. No humans were left alive in Flagstone Cove. They have to be evacuated from Crimson Beech. And you're going to let me help. You've only dodged the guillotine, and now you believe you can make demands. I mean, we just did save your ass, so yeah. You step forward and link your arm through your mother's, feeling emboldened by her own bravery in the face of Astoria's snarl. She's right, and you know it. You need my mom's help with this. She can use her position to justify the evacuation. She's a medical professional. She can come up with a believable lie to get the humans out of town. Gas leaks, contaminated water, something. If you all survive this and want to rebuild, you're going to have a really difficult time trying to explain the stacks of dead bodies to the federal authorities. Lewin and Astoria hesitate, casting an uneasy glance at each other. Oh, just let her. She knows so much at this point that if she's anything like her daughter, she'll just keep wasting our time with arguments. Very well. Dr. Reese, you may assist with the evacuation of the humans. Great. I already have a few ideas of some easily guarded places on the edges of town that would be... But before you put any plans into motion, I advise you and Parker return home and collect anything you may need. He fixes you both with a smile, and you can't help shiver that run down your spine. It's likely that the Crimson Beech will need to be abandoned for a time until the battle is over. Oh, well, in that case... She glances back at you, looking suddenly lost, and you take her hand. Come on, let's head home and get what we need. It sounds like we won't be back for a while. You think you're leaving. That's adorable. Cass and I will take you. We can go faster that way, and you'll have a guard in case anything goes wrong. Alright, we'll meet back here in 20. Let's go. Gabe and Cass get you and your mom home in minutes and set you down on the front porch. But when you step inside... Oh my god. Huh. Wonder who did this one. Who did it? Seriously, who did it? No, what happened? Mom rushes deeper inside, head turning frantically as she takes in the carnage of your home. Gabe reaches for the lights. Power's out. Search party looking for you, and your mom must have ripped the lines down when they ransacked the place. Of course, Lewin's calculating ass didn't want you to get your stuff. This was a show of force. It's completely destroyed. I should reach for... I mean... I'm gonna go with my mom, because it is your mom and Yu's place. You follow your mom into the destruction and take her hand. Mom, I'm so sorry. If I hadn't gotten so mixed up with the covens... I don't want you blaming yourself. This is happening to you too. But all too soon, she slips her hand out of yours. You watch with a pit in your stomach as your mom wanders in the living room and picks up a pillow that's half torn apart, clutching the pillow to her chest, and she sinks to the floor, her voice pitching. Our home, our entire new life we started in Crimson Beech. There's nothing left. Oh, Mom. Squat down to the floor with her, pulling her into a tight hug. They're just things. We still have each other, and that's what really matters. It's true, materialistic shit means nothing compared to loved ones. You stay like that for a long moment before you hear the sounds of thuds and scrapes. Looking up, you see Gabriel and Cass both digging through the mess. What are you doing? There's gotta be some things you can salvage in here. If you'd like, Dr. Reese, Cass and I can help you find any important keepsakes. You do that. Is there even time to sift through all this? Hey, it might be stuff, but some stuff's important, I get it. Oh my god, Cass having a niceness. Hold on, I think I'm having a heart attack. Consider yourself lucky, you've got 2 vampires here with you. We're plenty fast. Mom blinks a few times, seemingly stunned by the offer, before turning her hopeful gaze towards you. There are so many memories buried in this rubble, things I don't want to lose. Diamond choice, of course. Let's all work together. Thanks, Lewin. Of course, Mom. We can spare a few minutes. It's only right after all the trauma you've had to deal with. Thank you, Parker. I just hope we can find something. Found the bag we can use to carry anything you want to keep. Cass opens up a large duffel bag, checking it for holes. It's a start. Hey, this looks pretty important, and it's still in one piece. Carefully, Gabriel unearths a fully intact frame piece of art from under some rubble. Your mom leaps to her feet with a gasp. Oh my god, that's... She gently takes it from Gabriel and turns it around to show you. Oh honey, look! Why does it look like something I painted in like 3rd grade? Where were you even keeping it? Oh god, yep, This seems really important. We're literally about to have a fight to the death, and we've got limited time, but hey, artwork from 3rd grade. It was something you painted in 3rd grade. I've had it on the table with the family photos. Haven't you seen? You sure it's special enough to make the bag? Of course it is. It's a masterpiece. Ugh, masterpiece, but nothing is colored inside the lines. It's a totally messy free-for-all. I like it that way. It's bold, doesn't follow the rules, just like the artist. Damn, a rebel in 3rd grade art class. Who would have guessed? Right, so young, me, as an artistic visionary. Of course you were. She clutches the frame against herself, turning to beam Gabe. Gabriel, darling, I can't express my gratitude enough. This is my favorite piece of art. Hey, happy to help, especially when it means getting to learn about one of Parker's many talents. You click your tongue and give him a playful shove, which only makes him laugh. Alright, stick in the bag of treasures. Cass opens the duffel bag, but suddenly goes still. She shoves the bag at Gabriel before heading to another corner of the room. Hey, there's a bracelet over here. It's made of silver. You join her, looking towards where she's pointing, under a pile of junk, gently moving things out of the way. You dig it up and let out a laugh when you look at it up close. Mom, look, it's the crappy charm bracelet I bought you for your birthday when I was in middle school. It's not crappy. Oh, please. It's not like you even wore it. Look at all these tacky heart charms. They are high-key repulsive. Your mom lets out a scandalized sound, and as she joins you, you point out some of the other clunky charms dangling from the bracelet. Remember where we got this? Monkey charm, squiggly, whatever it is charm, and ice cream charm. Listen, I want to know what the squiggly one looks like. That's... Is it Cthulhu? Please tell me it's him. You and your mom look at the charm for a while, heads tilted. You know what? I don't remember it all. Me neither. Guess not everyone's a lifelong, or everything's not a lifelong memory, huh? You start to laugh, but stop when you notice your mom's eyes getting misty as she fastens the bracelet around her wrist. Mom, are you okay? I'm fine, fine. I promise I'm never taking this bracelet off again. It's just too precious to me. Also, if it's made of silver, hey. Oh, okay. She turns her wrist from side to side, admiring the sparkle for a moment before suddenly turning fully towards Cass. Cass, I have to apologize for accusing you of being a bad influence on Parker. Oh, I mean, I kinda am, though? And Gabriel, thank you for looking out for my daughter and helping her feel welcome here at Crimson Beech from the moment she arrived. It's no big deal, Dr. Reese, really. Ah! What, Mom, what the hell? Ignoring all of your looks of alarm, your mom runs full tilt towards a toppled bookshelf. She grabs one of the corners, exposed a book, and gives a few tugs before turning around. Gabriel, Cass, I need your help, hurry! Right. God, the book is dying as we speak. Okay, but why? The two of them rush over and each grab a side of the bookshelf, lifting it easily so your mom can pull the book out. Oh, thank goodness. Your mom triumphantly holds up her prize, a thick, pale yellow book with Parker embossed on the front in delicate writing. Oh no, tell me that's not... Your baby photos? Oh no! You groan as she starts flipping through the book, only for your mouth to drop in horror as she tilts the book towards Gabriel and Cass. Oh look, here's one from when we went sailing with Nanny and Papa. It's Parker, just adorable in her sailor's hat. Mom? She is pretty cute. Oh, and here's the time we went to a petting zoo. Parker, remember how scared you were of the goat? Mom... She went from crying over a goat to kicking a vampire butt on a regular basis. How regular are we talking? Yep, no, so you dug this grave. You have to answer now. What's going on in this picture, Dr. Reese? Cass gives Gabe a thumbs up as your mom's attention returns to the photos. Oh, that was taken at the park near our first apartment in the city. Your curiosity wins out and you join them as you look at the photo. You see yourself a chubby, grinning baby sitting in the middle of a park bench. Wow, I look like a potato. Your mom smacks you lightly over the head with a photo album. Parker, that's my baby you're talking about. Honestly, I'm with Parker on this one. The resemblance is uncanny. I'm gonna plead the fifth. I'm not looking to get on Dr. Reese's bad side. Smart boy. I'm gonna look at all these later when I have time. Reluctantly, she closes the book, placing it in the bag Cass holds. Thank you for both helping me find the precious items. I'll treasure them even more now. But more importantly, thank you for watching out for my baby girl. I didn't even want to think about what could have happened if she didn't have the two of you around. Dr. Reese, please, call me Terry. Your mom reaches out for both of them, taking one of their hands in each. Her expression turns serious. Take good care of my Parker, both of you. Yeah, sure, definitely. You can count on us, Dr. Reese. I know I can. You two are obviously good for my daughter. And just 2 chapters ago, we were heinous. Okay, Mom, that's enough torturing them for one day. What you call torture, I call giving my approval. Okay. You and Gabe and Cass share a flustered look before the 3 of you break into laughter. But suddenly laughter is cut short as Gabe and Cass tense, turning towards the door. Do you smell it? Yeah, smoke. What? They both rush outside. You and your mom follow hot on their heels out the door. But you skid to a stop on the doorstep. Your heart pounds against your ribs as you take in the smoke and flames roiling in the distance. Oh my god, a whole section of the forest, it's on fire! That's the coven's warning signal. It's been triggered. That means... yeah, the enemies are already here. Thank God we had time to look at baby photos, though. We'll remember those as we die slowly. I hope you guys laugh as much as I do at some of the shit I say. So, without further ado, I love your beautiful faces. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description below. Links to a bunch of stuff, including Discord, where you can come hang out, join us, and the whole 9 yards. Without further ado, let me say the following. I want to say I thank and appreciate every single one of you that continues to watch my content, that continues to be subscribed to this channel, and if you're not already, make sure to be subscribed. I try and, make y'all laugh. Sometimes heartwarming moments, sometimes laughter, sometimes serious. It's human, right? It's human. But all in all, I want you all to enjoy the content here that's on this channel, with a small caveat of saying the following. In this chapter, we learn something that is kind of human nature in and of itself, right? We take these photos and we put them on a bookshelf or put them in a frame and whatnot, or hang them on a wall, and that's pretty much it. We'll look on them fondly for a quick moment or here or there, but we kind of lose the essence of them until something like this happens, right? A lot of people typically say this when, say, a tornado happens, hurricane happens, they lose someone, which is 99% of the time, and then they look at something and then they really cherish it and look fondly at those memories and then start remembering them all over again. Because basically your brain is a big hard drive that, while you may completely forget about some things, they are still there in your hard drive. So it's just crappy that each and every single person kind of treats that way from what I've seen, my personal experience. And, just think back to a time where there weren't phones and pictures to everything. Just sometimes maybe stop, and when you take a picture, just stop and absorb it with your own hard drive, your own eyes, your own camera. And I mean camera meaning your eyes. Let your brain absorb it, the feeling, the breeze, the temperature, the colors. Just let your brain do that. Because we rely on technology way too much, and enjoy and cherish that moment that you're taking a selfie of. It doesn't matter if it's a cat, it doesn't matter if it's a family member, it doesn't matter if it's a drink. Cherish that moment. Take a quick second and stop and smell the roses, because it'll be, as they say, it's enjoy yourself, it's later than you think, and it is true. Because one of us may wake up tomorrow and the other may not be here. Right? You may wake up one day and I won't be here. I may wake up one day and you won't be here. So cherish one another, right? Again, that's another thing I like to do on this channel. It's kind of Bob Rossy, don't you think? He had good messages and things like that here and there. So, once again, thank you all for watching. Love your beautiful faces, and I'll catch you all later. Peace out.